Hey guys, this is Jake at Flow Fire Defense, and today we're going to be installing the Super Safety. Okay, so you just got your Super Safety from Flow Fire Defense. So we sell 3 different variations of our Super Safety, and it's really just dependent on what you need. So I'm going to take this out here and show everybody the differences of the packaging. Here we have our Super Safety. You have your cam pin, your lever, your detent, and your earbud. Next we have our cut trigger. And lastly, as an option, we also have a complete fire control group. And that's if you don't want to take the fire control group out of your current trigger setup. For today's video, we're going to use the fire control group in our current AR setup, so we're not going to need this. So these are the parts that we're going to be installing into our AR platform today. We have our Flow Fire cam pin, Flow Fire lever, Flow Fire detent, earbud, and the cut trigger. Just to show you guys as well, the difference between this trigger and a mil-spec trigger is this notch that's right here. This is going to allow the cam pin to go back and forth. Now let's get this thing installed. So let's do a quick breakdown of the tools that we're going to need today. We have our silicone hammer, T-bar Allens that we're going to be using as punches, Phillips head screwdriver, Allen key. We also have a magnetic metal bowl here. Our extra parts are going to go in there. Okay, so we have our AR here. This is a BCM full build. We call it Old Reliable here at Flow Fire Defense. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take down the upper from the lower. I have my T-bar Allen here. You can use your fingers, just really depends on how quickly they come out. Flip it over, and you've now separated it. Take your upper, move it to the side. You're not gonna need that now. So this is the lower that we're gonna be working on today. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the safety. Now this is an ambi safety. Requires a small Allen key. So I'll be popping that out. Your safety may look a little bit different, not a big deal at all. Okay, so we have our levers off. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take down the pistol grip. There's a few different kinds of pistol grip screws in here. This one's a Phillips. You might have a star, you might have a 3/16, you might have a flathead. Just really dependent. So we're going to start unscrewing this here. Comes out pretty easily. Now what you want to do is you want to keep pressure on this pistol grip. I'm going to show you why here in a second as soon as I can get this screw out. Now if you notice here, as I separate this, there's going to be a small spring here, and you don't want to lose that. So what I do is I put my thumb over it, take it out, still have my main screw in there and my spring. And the last thing that you're going to do is you're going to take this and knock it down, and what comes out here is a small detent. We're not going to need that anymore, so it's going to go in your parts drawer. So now, since we have our pistol grip out with our pistol spring, the safety should just fall out. And that's what we're going to be replacing today. So now we're going to be removing the internals of our fire control group. First thing that's going to come out is the hammer. What I like to do is I like to put my hand over this here. The hammer is under spring tension. So what this is going to do is when you remove it, it won't just fly out on you. Take your T-bar handle. A lot of people use punches. I like using these just so I can get a good grip on it if I need to. And also, you can hit these with a hammer pretty good. Top screw. Take this. Again, we're holding a little bit too down, bring it through. Here's your hammer pin, put that off to the side, and slowly release. And here you have your hammer with the hammer spring. We're gonna be reusing that, so keep that up here. Next, we're gonna be taking out the trigger. There's your trigger pin right there. Same process. There's a disconnector spring here, so you wanna just keep your hand above it. Bring that through, push it in. Here's your trigger pin. And here you have your disconnector and your full trigger. Your lower now has no fire control group and is ready for a fresh install. Now real quick, as I had spoken about in the beginning of the video, this is a full fire control group for an AR platform trigger. What we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be reusing our hammer spring, our disconnector spring, and also our spring around our trigger. The only thing that we're not reusing today out of this fire control group is our trigger. And the reason for that is the triggers that we provide are cut a specific way to allow the manipulation of the super safety. This is super important. Ours are CNC machined. There's a lot of guys out there that cut them themselves. You can do it either way, but we have an exact specification on our triggers for the super safety to work. Now for this, you're not gonna need it again, so throw it in your parts drawer. So here now is your new fire control group. If you don't want to reuse these, we also provide full fire control groups as well in one of our packages. So now that we have everything laid out here, we're not going to need our parts drawer anymore, so these go off to the side. Keep them though, just in case you need them for future builds. So now we have everything laid out here, and we're going to add in our super safety. Here's our lever, our cam pin, our detent, and our rubber piece. The rubber piece we're not going to put until last, so we're going to throw that off to the side for right now. So the first step in this process is we're going to take our cut trigger, we're going to install the trigger spring back on. Pretty easy. You can bend it a little bit, it's not the end of the world, nothing's going to happen. And you want it to look just like that, where these come down and your housing is right on that corner. Next part of this, you're going to take your disconnector spring. There's two sides to this. There's a smaller side and a fatter side. You want the fatter side to go into this little notch right here. If you notice, there's a hole, and you're going to put the fat side into the hole. Last portion of this, you want to take your disconnector. There's a notch there, there's a hole there. You want to line up the hole. This is where your trigger pin's going to go. You're going to want to depress this down. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our trigger back in. Here's our lower. Now in a perfect world, this would all stay together. I never have much luck with that though. My disconnector always comes off, but that's okay. What I like to do is I press this down and I keep that down. You then want to manipulate your trigger where that hole lines up. If you notice here, and now that I flipped it over, here, your hole's going to line up. Obviously that's very important because that's what you're going to be putting this through. Now with the trigger pins and the hammer pin, you want to do the smooth side first. If you notice that's a notch side, you want to put the smooth side in first. You're gonna have to move it a little bit, take your hammer, knock it in. Your trigger is now back in your AR. There might be a little bit more manipulation there just to get that final push through. That's okay. If you notice it's flush on both sides here, your trigger is now reinstalled. So now we're gonna be reinstalling our hammer. This is by far the most difficult part of installing a trigger. I've done a lot of triggers and I always have trouble with this, so if you're having a little bit of issues, don't worry about it. I think most people do. So what you have here is you have your hammer, and you want the hook to be facing backwards, and you have your springs, the sharp points. Your sharp points of your spring you're going to bring down, and you're going to bring right behind where you see the springs of that trigger. Press it all the way down, and the next step is you're going to take your hammer and you're going to be pushing forward and down. Forward and down. There's a lot of tension here, which is what makes it the most difficult part. And when you have that in forward and down, you're going to want to line up that last hole there. What a lot of people do, and what I learned, is you can take an Allen key or a T-bar or a punch, and you can put it in there to hold it. So that holds it in place. So it's under a lot of tension right now, and it's going to be tough to get your trigger pin back in. What you want to do is I flip it around so I can get a good purchase there. Is I like to take the smooth part and slowly guide it in to get a start. And if you notice there, I got it halfway through. Now I can take my Allen down, and I just want to make sure that this is lined up as perfectly as possible, and then I'll take my silicone hammer and I'll slowly knock it in. We're almost home. Last portion here, and we're good to go. Your hammer and your fire control group with your trigger is now back installed. Now it's the time we've all been waiting for. Let's install our super safety. Super important piece here. If you notice, my hammer is up currently right now, and I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but there's a notch there, and when you put the hammer down, the notch is clear. So you need to have your hammer down to put your super safety in. What we're gonna do is there's two sides to the FlowFire super safety. There's the smoother side and there's the notch side. You wanna put your notch side in first. And you have your lever here. Now just to show you guys the operation of this, your lever is going to be going into this little groove right here. And what happens is safe, semi, super safe. So that's kind of just how that works. You want to slowly just put your thumb around here, and we're going to reinstall our pistol grip. Remember that detent that we had? Well, that was a notch detent. And what we have here is we have our rounded detent that's going to allow that cam pin to move back and forth. So the rounded side, which is here, will go down first into this little notch. If you got your pistol grip, put your spring in. And what you're going to do is you're going to slowly just move this back up, shift it back up, where that spring will go into the detent spot. Sometimes you get a little bit luckier than others. Sometimes it'll pop through. You just got to kind of work with it. And if you see there's the spring into the detent spot. And we're then going to take this and screw it back in. And as you tighten that up, that spring will then lock in to the detent. You're ready to go. Last piece we have here, take your centering bud, slip it over the lever, bring it all the way down, and shift it to the bottom. What this allows for is it allows for this lever just to stay center. That cam pin will move to where it needs to move, and then the lever will stay center where it needs to. It doesn't obstruct anything because it is rubber, and also it doesn't get hot back here, so it won't melt. Now what you have, safe, semi, and super safe. Let's put our upper back on and get this thing rolling. Pop your takedown pins out. Take your upper, pin, pin, good to go. Now we're gonna function test this thing. So what we wanna do here is if your smooth side's all the way out, this is safe. That trigger should not move at all. No movement whatsoever. If we push it all the way out to where the cut part is, the indentation, that should be semi-automatic. Now to put it into super safe mode, we're going to put it right in the middle of the two. We're going to press this back. We're going to maintain pressure here on the trigger. And what you're going to feel is every time that you rack your charging handle, you're going to feel that trigger reset. That's how you know things are working. Now it's time to take this thing to the range. Make sure we did everything correctly. Let's go have some fun.